Hey guys, welcome back for another live stream. I'm here to talk all things Chelsea ahead of the Chelsea Porto game tomorrow. I'm super excited about it. I didn't quite have time to do a preview video, so I felt what better than to just do a stream and to have you guys come in as well. I'm going to have a live call-in section for you guys to give your thoughts about the game. I want to hear from you. You call in on my YouTube channel. It's going to be super cool. So I'm joined with my sister, who I forced into being on this stream with me. She does not watch Chelsea, so I thought that it would actually be like pretty funny. And she's a real champ for actually joining the stream and going through a starting 11. She just watches when I'm home at like some of the games, so she doesn't know that many players. So I thought it would be kind of funny to do a starting 11 with her and see what it ends up being. So Jen, let's start with this. First, do you want to say anything to everybody?
Hey everyone. Liz said I don't watch Chelsea. I'd like to clarify I don't watch football. So bear with me a little bit.
So it's going to be fun. No worries. Who is starting in goal for you?
Mendy.
Good. I've taught you well. So we're going to go with a 3-5-2 formation, which basically means that there's 3 defenders and then 5 midfielders and then 2 strike, or it's more like a 3-4-2-1. So you have 3 defenders, wing backs, midfielders, and strikers. So let's just start easy. Do you know any defenders?
Aspie.
I've taught her well. She knows my husband. So anybody else?
Conte.
He's not a defender.
No. That's the only one I know then.
Okay, let's move up and see if we can get anybody else. So, okay, just let's say who's in your starting 11 right now. So you have Mendy.
Okay, Mendy. I have Aspie.
Okay.
I have Kai.
Okay.
Pulisic.
Yeah.
I have Mason Mount. I have Giroud.
That's a lot of attackers.
I don't know anyone else. I just know the ones that score goals. I have Conte. Did I say him? Who else is there? Zuma. There's what's the one? He has 2 names, like Hudson.
Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yes, him.
Okay. I think everybody's going to be liking your team for the most part. Maybe a little attacker heavy. But
I'm trying to think of who else I know.
do you remember the strong one that's really young, that's a defender?
No.
Reece.
Oh, Reece James.
I
think I got him and Conte confused.
They don't look alike at all. Conte is bald.
Because Reece James was who I was thinking of as the defender, but I thought that was Conte.
Okay. Don't know anybody else?
No.
So, I don't know. You got like 6 or 7. That's not bad, right, guys? That's really not bad. So, let me know in the comments who your starting 11 would be. I'll go through mine now. Thank you, Jen. You're free from your duties. So, for me personally, my starting 11, I think that is very interesting. I want to know your thoughts on this, because I feel like our attackers really did well yesterday. I'm just going to take off this brand thing because you guys all know who I am. And not yesterday, over the weekend. Totally lost my sense of time. But I really liked that combination of Pulisic and Havertz and Mount. And I don't know if we're going to see them rotated or if we give them another game to play together and gain some chemistry, because I know that it's not that much rest time, especially for somebody like Pulisic. Maybe you want to like rest him to make sure he doesn't injure himself, and I would totally understand that, but I just felt like maybe you also reward him for playing. So I want to know what you guys have to think. I'm going to put a link in. Actually, I'm going to put a banner. Whoa. And I'm going to put a link into the stream. So if you guys want to give me your thoughts, here you go. So you guys can hop in just a couple of words, a minute or so, if you guys want to talk and let me know your thoughts on the starting 11. So personally, I'm really torn between that because I want to see those players start again, but I also understand if Pulisic needs to be rested. So kind of like working my way up the pitch and getting to that part later. Mendy in goal. I think we'll see Reece James at right wing back because we're going to need to defend a lot in this game. And I think Christensen may still be out, so I'm going to go for Aspilicueta. I think we'll probably see Thiago Silva and Rudiger. And I don't know if we're going to see Alonso at left wing back, honestly. Like, I think that maybe you have him on if you want more of an attacking threat, but Ben Chilwell just showed that he can score a lot of goals and really well at that. So I think perhaps we're going to see Ben Chilwell there. I think he offers more of a defensive presence that we need, especially in this game, defending. So I probably would play Chilwell there. TJ says, I really want Pulisic to play, but we just can't risk him. I'd rather rest him for the crucial FA Cup semi against Man City. And yeah, I totally understand that. And I think that that might be what we see. We also saw that Timo Werner was rested in this game, but I read this interesting article by Simon Johnson, and he was basically saying that he doesn't know if he doesn't know if he would start Timo Werner because Timo Werner has been starting kind of like he's been on the bench one game and then he's been starting. And if you do that, maybe you're not teaching Timo that he has to get involved in the game. Oh, I have a caller in. Hey, Jonathan.
Wow, you can hear me?
Yeah. How's it going?
Nice to meet you. By the way, I'm not sure, do you go by Elizabeth, Ellie? Like, what do you want your viewers to call you?
If you call me Elizabeth, that's amazing. Ellie's my handle because I couldn't fit Elizabeth, but Ellie is totally fine as well.
Sure. I just wanted to ask you about Chelsea, really. How do you feel about not being able to predict the starting 11? I'm not sure how I feel about not knowing what our strongest team is. I feel like although Tuchel is getting results, the fact that he's rotating all the time and not knowing what his best players are has me a bit concerned about, future, like who to sell in the summer and who he's okay with selling and who he has future plans with. How do you feel about that and what you see it going?
It's a really great question, and that's something that I have asked myself as well, because like I was kind of saying, like even for the attacking aspects, I feel like there's a balance to be played in that you have to rotate these players because they're playing so often. There's a lot of games in this congested period, but then you also want to give them some time to build chemistry, and that's what I'm struggling with. And I really liked what I saw against Crystal Palace. I know it's Crystal Palace. Porto is going to be different, but why not give these attackers a little bit of time and momentum to start playing together? So it's a really interesting question, and I honestly think it's a proper headache for Thomas Tuchel. And I don't think we've seen the same starting 11 since he's been manager. Always changing it.
There's always rumors about players not being happy, like Pulisic. Is he happy with his game time? I mean, he's trying to find a bit of form at the moment. Obviously, it seems like Mason Mount is the only player that seems to be the first name on the team sheet at the moment. And we haven't seen Kante this much. Is he a possible person that Tuchel is looking at, seeing his age, doesn't see a future with him at Chelsea? It's just... next season, or depending on how well we do in the Champions League, I'm not sure who Tuchel is looking to bring in and looking to sell. I mean, we could see, depending if he gets the top floor. I mean, I don't think fans would be mad about him just making a big rebuild with his team, because obviously we don't have a recognized striker at the moment. Although Havertz, if he wants to play as a false nine or attacking midfielder, whether Tuchel might be like, we want to just play with the wing backs, the Hudson-Odoi just playing as right wing back and playing with a left wing back system. It depends on the system that Tuchel has been playing in. And just moving forward, we just don't have a recognized striker at the moment. We still have Giroud. There's rumors around with Tammy Abraham possibly leaving as well in the summer. He's fully fit, but we haven't seen much action from him. It seems that Tuchel, especially moving forward, it's going to have to either decide on spending big on a striker and saying, yes, you're my number one, or just playing with the attacking players and having this interchangeability up front. It'll be interesting to see which way he decides, but he's going to have to decide in the summer going into next season.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see who stays, who goes. I feel like it could be up to anybody, honestly, at this point. And I think he's probably going to decide after, he gets the season and maybe a bit of preseason. But thanks so much for hopping on and giving your thoughts. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. No, thank you. Bye.
All right, guys, that was super cool. So if you want to come and feature on my channel, please feel free. I honestly love hearing your thoughts and getting your perspective on things. Super, super fun, and honestly much better than me just talking to myself. So I love interacting. I'm considering putting it on Twitter as well, but I kind of like keeping it like in our little YouTube bubble. So looking at that starting 11, I've kind of said my back five. Looking forward, Tuchel has come out and said that he's going to make a decision on Conte to see how he trains today, and Jorginho was brought off early in the Crystal Palace game, which makes me think he's almost going to have him. But I would personally rather have Kovacic and Conte together. I saw somebody joined in and then left. Please feel free to hop back on. There's no problem. I just want to finish my sentence. And I'll post the link again for anybody that's newly joined. Come here if you want to join the stream. So I personally would like to see Conte and Kovacic. I think that's the most defensive coverage because we just need to defend. We really don't need to score any goals. If we can defend for our lives, then we'll be good. And I think Porto really challenged us in that first leg, and they're not going to be an easy team to face at all. They might be with their top goal scorer. Again, he was suspended. Now he has a minor injury, and they're basically Oliveira. He might be back. We don't know. But if he is back, it's going to be massive for Porto. And I could easily see them getting a goal and then being right back into this game. So I really want to have N'Golo Kante on the pitch. I would understand if it's a Jorginho and Kovacic if Kante isn't ready. But I just feel like Kante gives us that extra defensive coverage that we do need. And moving forward in the pitch, this is where it gets really interesting. And I really want to hear what you guys have to say, honestly, because I like I was saying before, I really don't know who's going to be starting in the front three. We like Jonathan was saying, we just don't know who he's going to pick. They're changing it. He's changing the formation all the time. Timo Werner didn't play against Crystal Palace, so we can expect that perhaps he's going to play. I just don't know. But I also don't think that he's done that much to warrant a start either. And But like he did play kind of well in that Champions League game against Atletico, got the second goal, but I just don't feel like he's had that many touches or done so much, not more than Pulisic has. So I think it's really about Pulisic, his injury management, if you're going to save him for the City game, if he's going to start again. I would kind of be surprised to see him start 2 games in a row. I have another caller. Hey, Nipuran, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
How's it going? Thanks for calling in.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
What do you want to say?
I'm just a bit nervous about going into the Porto game.
I feel I'm always nervous, so I'm not good.
Like we have a 2-goal lead, and I'm still nervous.
I know. Thank God that Chilwell scored that goal. Otherwise, I would be even more nervous. But still, they can score.
That goal reminds me of Torres. I mean, just going around the keeper.
Yeah, it was a really great goal. I was super happy for Chilwell as well because he's been struggling a bit, but I don't blame you for being nervous. I think that we're all a little bit nervous because we just want to go to the semifinals so badly, and to blow a 2-0 lead would just be really disappointing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to play our A game, not be cautious. If Tuchel doesn't overthink it, we'll be all right.
Yeah, totally agree. So hopefully he can do that. We'll know more once we see the starting lineup come up. Oh, you're driving. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm about to park, so don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry, my eyes are on the road.
Well, thanks so much for calling in. I really appreciate
Will
it.
you be doing these call-in shows more often, or is this your only one?
This is the first time I'm doing it, but it seems to be a hit, so I guess I'll have to do it more often.
Oh, and before I go, I want to ask you something. Are you free to be a regular in my Chelsea podcast? I'm thinking of starting 3 podcasts, one football related, one Chelsea related, and one London show related.
Well, why don't you message me offline and we can chat, since I want to keep it about the Porto
I'm
game.
following you on Twitter, but you've set your DMs that only people you follow can DM you.
Yeah,
So-
that's yeah, I have it set,
So-
but just tweet at me and we can sort something.
So yeah, I'll tweet you my schedule.
Alrighty,
the
thanks for
Chelsea
calling
games-
in.
I'm thinking the Chelsea games to be the night before a Chelsea match. So yeah,
Alrighty, talk
yeah
later.
I'll tweet. I'll add you on
Bye.
Twitter.
Hi, Kevin. How's it going?
Hello, Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to ask you, as a fan yourself, if you had a choice to play your strongest team against to get top 4, or play the strongest team to try and win the Champions League, if you had to prioritize between the two, which is more important to you? Would you feel better finishing 5th but having gotten to a Champions League final, or would you prefer crashing out maybe in the semis and cementing top 4?
Do you win the Champions League, or do you just qualify? Do you just get to the final?
You get to the final.
Oh, fuck.
Because I feel like that would say that you would win. I feel like that'd be too easy.
Yeah, that would be too easy. So that's a difficult question. Well,
I'm not sure if you're aware, but even making the Champions League final, there's a lot of money. Teams, even though they don't win, becoming runners up, you get a lot of investment into the club. That will help with the transfer budget, I think.
It's true, and a lot of TV revenue as well. But I feel like for the purposes of Chelsea, for the players that we're trying, at least for somebody like Haaland, maybe somebody like Declan Rice doesn't need Champions League football. But if you're trying to get somebody like Haaland, which the club has said that they have interest in, but we don't know, then I think that it would probably be more important to secure Champions League for next season, meaning you get top 4, because you're going to have a more difficult time getting talent into your team if you want to bring in a player, because they're going to be looking for Champions League football rather than just getting to the final and then you go for the final the next year. But that's a really difficult question, Kevin.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Have you seen the table? Like, as a Chelsea fan, although I believe in Tuchel, I look at that table. I see the form of West Ham. I see the form of Everton. They have 2 games in hand, and Liverpool on our heels. I feel like I look at our Champions League run, and I would totally be behind this decision of playing our first team and trying to win the Champions League and qualify through that way. Then it's going to go to the last game of the season. It's going to go into the last game of the season with this top 4. And I feel like if I was in Tuchel's position, I'd see our route to the Champions League final is a lot more easier than having.
Yeah,
I look at that table and I'm nervous.
And we have difficult fixtures. It's not even like we're playing easier teams. We have to play West Ham, Leicester, City, Arsenal, I think, maybe Villa. I'm not sure. So it's definitely not going to be easy. We've put ourselves into this situation. I'm nervous about getting top 4, and if you can win the Champions League, why not?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Do I think Chelsea are going to win it? I don't know. Let's see how tomorrow goes.
Do we have any big injuries? Do you know if we have any big injuries heading into this week?
No injuries, I don't think.
Okay, that'll be good to help us. It was nice talking to you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, nice talking to you. Thanks for calling in. Bye. Hello, CFC FB. How's it going?
How's it going? You okay?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. I've just came to talk to you about the Chelsea and tomorrow and stuff, and I'm really, really nervous about tomorrow. Like, we can't get ahead of ourselves. We need to stay humble. We need to stay professional. We need to get the job done. And yeah, Tuchel, he's having a really good season. He just had one little blip against West Brom, and after that we've been phenomenal. And I just want this to we just need to stay professional. Because if we don't stay professional, then things are not going to go our way, and that's
Yeah.
my only concern. Like the fans are getting too overexcited. We need to chill out a bit. But I
I'm
don't blame them,
definitely
to be
guilty of
honest.
getting excited. I definitely
Yeah.
am. But I do think that Tuchel and the players know that this isn't like a game to take nonchalantly. I really hope that they understand that. I'm sure that they're aware of that it's still a leg to be played. Porto are going to come at us with guns blazing, and we need to make sure that we defend. And hopefully, I'm hoping that we can score a third goal and just really kill the game off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I wish, Havertz, he turns up like he did against Crystal Palace and he takes all his chances. And I wish Timo Werner gets a chance and they both just go and just silence these haters, because the haters are just, getting on my nerves now. Like, they're saying they're both flops. They're not flops. It's the first season. They're getting used to the league.
Thank
They're getting used to the
you.
Champions League. And, they'll be phenomenal signings. I know that. As a fellow German myself as well, like, my English is not too good. That's why I'm a
Your
bit
English is
stuttering, but yeah.
perfect. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I just had to clarify that, because I just feel like sometimes not good. But yeah, like, as a fellow German myself, I just need to get that out there. Like, my two Germans are the best signings that Chelsea can make, and I'm still gonna believe in them no matter what. And I hope the Chelsea fans do as well.
Yeah, I think it's just one season is too soon. I'm always willing to give them a season or season and a half at least to adjust to the Premier League. Not to mention that it's been during a weird season where they haven't been able to really interact with people outside of their homes. They're adjusting to new country, new league, a lot of games together, new manager as well halfway through the season. So it's definitely not an easy adjustment period, but they have been showing their quality. So I'm sure that they're going to continue to show it. But thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
See you later. Goodbye.
Yeah, this is really fun, you guys. So definitely, if you want to come call in, come join the link. I love chatting to you guys, hearing all of your different thoughts. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it, because it's really the first time that I've done something like this. And yeah, I can try to make it more of a regular occurrence if it's something that you guys are interested in. Christian asks, Ellie, do you think Pulisic should get subbed off during halftime if he starts in Porto because of his injuries? Really depends on injury management. I am kind of weary about him starting. Like, my heart wants him to start, but I don't feel that he's probably ready to play like 2 games in such quick succession. And I would prefer for him to get rested and then come on against Man City and be like absolutely devastating to them, and be the Pulisic of restart. And we're starting to see that. Like, I don't know if you guys realize, but the goal he scored against Crystal Palace was like the exact same goal that he scored last year against Crystal Palace, like left foot top bins. It was so good. So I feel like we're finally starting to see Christian Pulisic back, and I'm really happy because I saw a lot of people doubting him. And I have always been on the Pulisic train, so it's just really nice to see that he's coming back to his best again. I'm just gonna add the link again if you guys want to join into the stream. So yeah, as for, I've kind of gone back and forth between my starting XI. I would love to see Pulisic, Kai, and Mount. Who do I think we'll see? Maybe Mount Ziyech Werner or Mount Kai Werner. I think Timo Werner's probably going to start. Hakim Ziyech started in the other Champions League game, so we might see him start as well. I do think that, Porto are probably going to play quite open. They have to score at least 2 goals to even be in contention for this tie. So they're going to be attacking us. So I think that is hopefully going to leave a lot of space on the counter. Chelsea need to make sure not to, oh, there goes the garage. Chelsea need to make sure not to like sit too far back, because I think that invites a lot of pressure. So hopefully play a little bit of a higher line, and I think that we'll be able to take advantage of their space. I think Tuchel is probably thinking that as well, that with Timo's pace, if they're playing to try to attack us, if we can get them on the counter. Timo has really devastating pace. Kai Havertz has devastating pace. We saw that Ziyech contributed to he scored the goal against Atletico where we caught them on the counter. So I think we're probably going to be hoping for another one of those situations, but it's just really hard to tell who's going to be the person that actually starts. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I have a question here. Do you prefer Cho over Timo on the left side? I don't, they're just like such different players. I don't really prefer one or the other. Like, I really like Callum as a player. I think he looks pretty good on the right hand side. Like, my preference is Pulisic, honestly, on the left hand side. But I don't know. It just depends. I feel like Timo in general has, so much to prove, and he's going to be a good player for us, but we just haven't seen it that much yet. I think Callum also needs to improve. So, Callum is still so young. Timo is young as well. But I think Callum just has so much potential that we've yet to see, and we're starting to see it, that he's really good at take-ons and one-on-ones and playing direct. But I feel like sometimes his final pass might be off, or his final shot might be off, and that's something that he needs to work on. But I do think that he's pretty what's the word? Equally pretty good on the left and the right, so I don't really have a preference. Whereas for Timo, I definitely prefer him on the left. Yeah. And guys, what are your score predictions for this game? I'm curious because I feel like we might concede. I don't know. I'm gonna go for a 1-1. But Chelsea still go through because it's gonna be a tie. Sam says, you're right. I think Werner will start, but I would start Mount Havertz, Cho. Pulisic might need a rest. I'm always nervous about him and injuries. Yeah, totally understand. I don't know if he's going to start Callum. It really feels like he hasn't been starting Callum all of that much, but I think in a Champions League game, since Callum is a little bit young and doesn't necessarily have that Champions League experience, I know that he did play a lot in the Europa League. I don't know if he's going to start him. He might go with more experienced players like Ziyech, who's got into the semis of the Champions League, but honestly, we just don't know, and that's kind of the annoying part and the beauty of it. James says Hazard might return to the bridge if we and Real Madrid go to the next round. That would be interesting. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure he's going to get back from injury right before we are scheduled to play Real Madrid if we go through and they go through. I feel like it's just written in the stars, honestly, because there's just so many things. Courtois play for Chelsea, and then the way that he left, and Hazard, obviously Chelsea legend, Kovacic, Giroud versus Benzema. It's going to be so intense. I have another caller, Jorginho, #1 fan. How's it going?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't like Jorginho, and I feel sorry for him. So I decided to jump on the Jorginho train.
So you think he's starting tomorrow?
100%. Judging by Tuchel's team selections and history, he seems to be a constant presence in that midfield. Do you not agree?
I feel like it's honestly been changed. Sometimes we see, I feel like under Frank you knew more or less who to expect, but under Tuchel I really couldn't tell you who's the pivot's going to be, more because when Conte's injured, I think it's always Kovacic and Jorginho, obviously, but with Conte back in the mix, could we see him start, and then who do you give that other spot to? We've seen him in Kovacic, we've seen him in Jorginho, so I really don't know. But Tuchel did say that he's going to wait to see how Conte's fitness is. He might not be fit enough to start, so then we would definitely see Kovacic and Jorginho if that were the case.
I also wanted to know your opinion on Werner. How patient are you with him in rediscovering his form, or do you think maybe one season and we cash in, or do you think our goalkeeper situation with Arrizabalaga, do you think he should just wait and try and wait for an injury, or wait for his chance? What do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I just feel like we have to be patient as fans with Werner. It's his first. I say this a lot. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm just trying to be more like empathetic with his situation. First season in the Premier League. It's a new language, a new country. You're in COVID, like the UK had very strict COVID restrictions where you really couldn't leave. Nothing was open. So I just feel like all of these things compounded, plus having to like so many games and then just having that pressure to perform. It must be really difficult. And I think Timo Werner is somebody that, we've seen that he really needs a lot of space to operate, which he doesn't really get in the Premier League. He got it a lot in the Bundesliga, but I feel like he needs to adjust his game a little bit because we've seen that sometimes his first touch will let him down. I don't feel like he's necessarily as technical maybe as he should be when he's pressed in tight spaces. So these are things that he has to improve, but we've seen glimpses. You don't just score 30 goals in the Bundesliga and you're definitely not a crap striker if you can do that. So I definitely believe in him. Maybe he has to change a couple of aspects of his game, get used to the physicality of the Prem, but I'm willing to give him like another season to see how things work out.
I really, really hope he gets chosen for the German squad, because I feel like getting away from Chelsea, heading into the Euros, getting his mind off things and trying to rediscover his form in the summer. I really, really hope he gets selected in the German squad and doesn't miss out on the Euros that way, because I fear for him if his confidence is low. If he doesn't make that German squad, I fear for him heading into the next season with the fans back. I feel like if he has a good Euros, I feel more confident with next season. But if he shows the same form as Chelsea with Germany, I don't think that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think he'll get selected for the Euros, and Germany has a pretty strong team, so it will be interesting to see. But definitely something exciting to watch over the summer. But thanks so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. Bye. Let's see. We have a couple more comments to get to. Feel free to call in, you guys, if you want to give a score prediction or a lineup prediction or anything before the game. I have kind of two similar questions. One is, do you see Ziyech in the starting 11? And one is, what do you think of Timo, Hudson, Odoi, and Mount starting? Honestly, I just don't know who's going to start. I think Timo, Callum, and Mount could be really good, but I do think Callum is a little young. So I don't know if he necessarily has that experience. That I think Tuchel will probably rely on experience and probably have a very defensive-minded setup in this game, knowing that we have to defend a 2-goal lead and we don't necessarily need to score. If we can just hold it out, we're going to go through. So it's going to be interesting. I feel like he's probably going to go Mount, Ziyech, Werner. I don't know why. I just have this gut feeling. Let's see if I'm right tomorrow. But I would love to see Mount, Kai, and Christian Pulisic again. But it's going to be interesting. Somebody says, "Oh, it changed." Werner will start because of his work rate. Yeah, I think he works pretty hard. And Terry says, Havertz's first touch is so breathtaking. He has so much potential. Being a striker just needs a bit more development. Yeah, and he's going to get that. Like, he's shown that he is adapting and that he can adapt, and like that he's a goal scorer. And I feel like against Crystal Palace, he honestly could have scored a hat trick. So he just needs to calibrate a little bit how he takes the shot and get a better understanding. But he's a very smart player. He's totally going to do it. Christian asked, what player jerseys do you have? I have Hazard and Pulisic, and I really want to get an Azpilicueta one and a Mount one. So I don't like buying two of the same jersey, or and it depends. They have to be really, really nice. And I also have a kit signed by the women's team, which is super, super cool, and I have to get that framed. That was insane. Well, guys, I don't see anybody else calling in. So I think we're all good here. Thanks so much for joining. Honestly, this was a lot of fun. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. Please drop this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm really busy with work, but I'm trying to put out as much content as I can. And it's going to be really great to see if Chelsea progress tomorrow in the Champions League. So hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, I'm out.